Yes, sir.
Who would you like to see in the championship game, and who would you not want in the championship game?
I would like to see whatever scenario will embarrass the BCS the most. Look, my employer, ESPN, is sort of the godfather of the BCS right now, as far as from a broadcast point of view. So I respect that, and I understand it's the system that we have, and it doesn't appear that it's going to step in front of a moving car anytime soon. But I can't stand it. I do not understand how every other sport in college has a mechanism where a champion is determined through playing each other. So it boggles my mind that this is where we are. There are a lot of moving parts to it. Who would I love to see? Well, I was talking to a gentleman earlier, and he was saying, if it's Oregon-Boise State, no one's going to watch the game. Maybe it won't get great TV ratings, but I think people will be intrigued by Boise. I think there's still that Cinderella factor there. And if they played a established national power, I think there would be something to that game. Right now, I think if Auburn can run the table, it's going to be nearly impossible to move them out of the championship equation. And then it's a matter of Oregon, which doesn't have to worry about a conference championship game. Boise, which has a couple tough games on its schedule. I love watching Oregon because, first of all, they have those fluorescent bug light uniforms. I just want to hang them outside my porch so they'll zap the. But you guys saw them firsthand. I was driving back from Norman, Oklahoma. I'd covered the Oklahoma-Florida State game, and I was driving back to Dallas, and I was listening to the UT-Oregon game. And Oregon runs plays every 13 seconds. It was amazing. They're like cyborgs or something. I don't know how they do it. So an Oregon game would be great. I love points, and a Boise, and then Auburn, any of those teams in the mix, I'd be happy to see that. Yes, sir.
At the risk of adding fuel to the fire, one of your fellow scribes has written a book called Death to the BCS.
Yeah, kind of subtle.
He has really taken to task the fact that so much of the bowl structure has a stranglehold, basically, on college football and potential format, and also the fact that of the several polls, there's no accountability and no public formula as to those. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we can all agree it's a better system than what existed before, which was basically a guy like Haas Brock, who was the longtime Cotton Bowl bowl director, would be at the Notre Dame campus during spring practice signing up Notre Dame for its bowl that year. So we've come a long way. We would have bowl directors, I'm not lying, bowl directors would be making their deals that early. So, it used to be throwing a dart at the dartboard. Now we have a bigger board and we have nicer darts, but it's still not a playoff system. The bowls are vested in this situation because they don't want to go away, and they don't want to become irrelevant. I don't think they would be under a playoff system, but they have some pretty powerful lobbying efforts going on right now, and the BCS has actually hired a spokesperson, to sort of jab the media back whenever the media criticizes the BCS. That book makes some very good points. It has some flaws also. There's no perfect way of doing this. I would love to see an 8-team playoff system, but then you're going to have somebody say, well, what about the 9th team that gets left out? Yeah, there's no perfect way of doing it, but there has to be a better way of doing it than right now.
We'd love to have you join us at the Knoxville Quarterback Club. We meet every Monday during the fall at Calhoun's on the River. We honor high school football players and coaches and officials, and we hear great speakers every week. This year you'll hear everybody from Bobby Bowden to Lloyd Carr to Derek Dooley to the ESPN and CBS commentators. It's a lot of fun, great fellowship, and a ton of talk about football. come join us. Look for information on how to join on the screen below. I look forward to seeing you there. We're pleased to be here with their Knoxville Quarterback Club official of the week, Rob Parmentier. Rob's the president of Sea Ray Boats and a heck of an official. He's refereed championship games and been at it since I think it's around 99, 2000 time frame. Tell us your most memorable moment.
One of my favorite games was the South Pittsburgh. They've got a heck of a program down there right on the border of Tennessee and Alabama. Eddie Moore came out of there, played for UT, was I think an All-American, went on to the pros. I enjoyed the atmosphere down there. It's a very small town, like we do every weekend. That's why a lot of us referee. You get a chance to see these small 1A, 2A, 3A schools, and there's 2,000-3,000 people at the games, and it just makes you feel good.
Hey, our Quarterback Club official of the week, Rob Parmentier.
Gino, what do you make of Missouri? I think maybe 5 years in a row, Gary Pinkel was 5-6, 5-7. And what for the last 5 or 6 years, they've been terrific. What's the turnaround? What's
patience, stability. It's not I'm going back to Tennessee here, but it's not a very complicated formula for success. There's a reason why Tennessee is struggling right now. There's been no stability. We're talking about 3 coaches in 3 years. It's hard to recover from that. Nobody's going to recover from that. No program is going to recover from that. You need stability. At Missouri, they've had a coach there who was criticized early on, who had fingernails, had to hang on for that job. And now look what happens. You have to have patience. So Missouri, I was really impressed with them this past Saturday night. I caught the very, very end of that game. And they weren't intimidated by Oklahoma, and they weren't intimidated by the history that they've had with Oklahoma. And they're another great example of a program that has been good in the past, never great, and now here it is, a player in this national championship equation. Yes, sir.
Talking about coaching and everything, you look at Boise and TCU.
Yes, sir.
Now, neither one of those programs gets 4-star. They might get 1 4-star recruit, maybe a few 3-stars, but they don't. They're not top of the pecking order. But they're still winning. Granted, they don't play Auburn, LSU, Alabama. So what's your?
Well, the great debate is if Boise or TCU played in the SEC on a weekly basis, how would they do? I actually think TCU would fare better because I think where it recruits to, its players are faster, they're bigger, they're stronger, they have the Texas area to recruit from. Boise, what it does, their coaching staff, they're like Mensa members. They're geniuses. I would love to go with them to Vegas, and I would love to be at a craps table with them because they bet the come all the time, and they hit a lot. They get a guy who they project, and they have it down to a science there. And so they can take some chances on like the California leftovers that the Pac-10 schools don't pick on. Those leftovers from the Pac-10 or from the Big 12 that sometimes goes into the LA area. They do a great job of identifying players who they think will get better each year. And they have great coaches. A great hire that Dooley made was Wilcox as defensive coordinator. That guy has has been hell for a lot of opposing offensive coordinators. So Boise just does a great job of identifying talent, of talent that's under the radar, and then coaching them up great. Yes, sir.
We see more and more college football during the week.
Yeah.
What impact do you think that'll have on the game?
Well, nothing says college football like Boise State and Louisiana Tech on a Tuesday night, right? But that's what we're going to have tomorrow night, and I guarantee you Boise and La Tech are thrilled about it because there's no baseball. The World Series doesn't start till Wednesday. There's no Monday Night Football, and there's sad, pathetic people like myself with nothing else to do who will watch that game. Because I've got to get my sports fix. I've got to get my football fix, and I guarantee you people watch that game. Those smaller conferences, they need that exposure, and they're willing to change their schedules to do it. It's silly in a way, but it's not going to go away. Yes?
Base, you mentioned baseball. What about the World Series?
Well, since the teams I picked, let me see, Tampa, and Philadelphia didn't reach the World Series, I'm probably not the best person to ask. But I look at San Francisco and I see a team that has great pitching and has somehow cobbled together a lineup that does amazing things. And then I look at Texas and I don't see a weak spot. I mean, it's like every guy in that lineup is a heavyweight. They're going to be hurt the first 2 games because of no DH. But I mean, we talk about the BCS and the national championship game and teams that maybe, you know, you don't expect to be in there. I love that it's Texas and San Francisco in this World Series. And I know a lot of people go, I don't watch baseball anymore. I don't care. No one's going to watch this World Series. It's going to be a fun World Series to watch. And people say it's boring. I think baseball is really exciting, and I love watching it. And I don't mean to be a cheerleader for it, but yeah, I'm going to take Texas, which means San Francisco will win. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hi, I'm Charles from Maryville. Our pick of the week, Tennessee 20, South Carolina 19.
I'm Charlie Morgan with the Gray Hodges Corporation, one of the sponsors of the Quarterback Club. I predict Tennessee 24, South Carolina 20. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us at the Knoxville Quarterback Club. We hope you've enjoyed our show. We'd love to see you in person. We meet every Monday, Calhoun's on the River at 11:30 during the football season. Membership information is on the screen below, and membership is open to anyone who loves football and wants to support the game. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you.